Magic is becoming increasingly popular every day. Even Sephora plan to put out beginner witch kits complete with crystals, tarot cards, and sage. Now, magic is an ancient technique, but it's not what you think it is. So what is it exactly? Is it bullshit? Is it real? Does it work? Now, you may have noticed it's almost impossible to find any straight answers on YouTube or even in books, but I'm going to clear this up finally and lay out for you what magic actually is, explained clearly, logically, and rationally. 99% of what you've heard about magic is wrong because it's put forth in symbols, codes, and metaphors. And everyone that studies it takes the code, symbols, and metaphors as true. Thus, their explanations are false. So I'm going to reveal to you right now what it's actually about. Now, as you watch this video, you have to have an open mind. That goes for both people who think that magic is supernatural and for those who think it's complete bullshit. Because I'm going to show you that both views are wrong and a misunderstanding of what magic actually is. So first of all, what's up with the K? Magic with a K is the Old English spelling for the word that Aleister Crowley decided to adopt for a few reasons, one of those being so it wouldn't be confused with stage magic. And yeah, it actually is pronounced Crowley. You can remember it by this little rhyme. Those who treat me foully call me Crowley. Those who know I'm holy call me Crowley. So, sorry to Ozzy Osbourne. It's a great song, but you said the name wrong. According to Crowley, the definition of magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. So does this mean you look at the red apple on the table and your will is to make it change green, so through magic you're able to summon a supernatural force to alter the color of the apple? No, of course not. That's not what it means. That's stupid. That's not possible. And if it were, someone would have posted it as an Instagram story by now. That's not magic. You can't do that. It's impossible. Don't be dumb, okay? What's closer to magic is thinking, I'm hungry, and my will is to nourish my body. Thus, it is my will to go pick up that apple and eat it. So you go over to the table and you eat the apple. Thus, you were able to cause change to physical reality, your consumption of the apple, which was according to your will to eat the apple. That's what you wanted to happen, and it's what you made happen. Now, as you can see, there's nothing crazy or irrational about that. It's thinking that you want to eat the apple and then going over there and doing it. You have an idea in your mind, the mental realm, and actualize that idea in the physical realm by eating the apple. You manifest it. Now, there are a couple things that I have to make clear because with that example in mind, that would mean that everything that humans do would be an act of magic. But for it to be a true act of magic, one has to have the mindset of a magician. You have to realize that the physical universe is your playground to shape and mold as you will. Again, not by making things fly around or change color, but by doing whatever it is that you must do to manifest your will. The world and the universe is your clay to mold however you see fit. And just by understanding that concept, you'll gain immense power and control over your life. Crowley said, one must find out for oneself and make sure beyond doubt who one is, what one is, why one is. Being thus conscious of the proper course to pursue, the next thing is to understand the conditions necessary to following it out. After that, one must eliminate from oneself every element alien or hostile to success and develop those parts of oneself which are specially needed to control the aforesaid conditions. Now, this is why in Hyperionism we emphasize again and again that you must know what you are, where you are, and why you are here. The more that you make this conscious, the greater power you'll have in your life. Once you understand that, you need to figure out a goal for yourself. And once you know the goal, you need to understand what you need to do to achieve those goals. And finally, you must eliminate anything in yourself that would stand in your way from achieving your goal and cultivate in yourself the necessary skills to achieve it. So to use myself as an example, my goal is to spread to the world the message of becoming beyond human. One of the necessary conditions for achieving that goal is having a platform to communicate these ideas, whether it be here on YouTube or in front of a crowd. A weakness that I once had was a fear of public speaking. So I took public speaking classes. I spoke at open mic nights and performed in front of crowds on the street. Doing all these things in a conscious, directed way with the knowledge of what you are as a shaper of reality is an act of magic. What about things like summoning demons? Well, let's imagine that every day you do a magic ritual that involves summoning a demon that makes you feel strong and powerful and eliminates your fear. Then one day, you're about to get on stage to deliver a speech. And so you summon that demon to aid you to eliminate your fear. Now what this is NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which is a psychological technique. For example, one NLP technique is to imagine yourself as a powerful, fearless giant that towers over everyone around you. And every time you imagine this and feel this, you press your index finger and your thumb together. Now what you're doing is creating a psychological anchor with the feeling of power and fearlessness to that gesture. So every time you press your fingers together, that feeling will come back. And you can use this whenever you need courage. It's the same principle as when you hear a familiar song and you're flooded with the feeling that you had when you heard it the first time. Or you might be reminded of an ex of yours because you used to fuck to that song. The same thing is happening here. As you can see once again, there's nothing crazy or irrational happening with magic ritual. It's all psychological. Those that think they can actually make impossible miracles happen don't understand what magic is. They're crazy. They're taking something that's meant to be symbolic and psychological as literal. Those that created these magical systems understood that people needed to work on themselves and to take control of their lives rather than bowing down before a god. But the problem is that the average person wouldn't understand this deep psychology. Or, at the time, psychology simply wasn't something that existed. So, they needed a symbolic way to communicate these powerful ideas. For example, getting rid of your weaknesses to become a more powerful person was communicated through alchemy in a metaphorical way as removing the impurities from metal to transform it into gold. It's all psychological. And even the great Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung recognized this. He was deeply enamored by the Gnostic and esoteric traditions and incorporated it into his work. By removing your impurities, your weakness, you're transformed into gold. Psychology is extremely powerful. The better you understand what you are, where you are, and why you're here, the more powerful you'll become because your field of consciousness will expand and new powerful ideas will form in your mind, giving you the ability to shape your life. All true Hyperions are the wielders of the most powerful magic because we know precisely what we are, where we are, and why we are here. However, it's said that the most powerful magicians often don't call themselves magicians. That's because the word magic is so loaded with semantic baggage that it often confuses people. If you tell someone that you're a magician, they're going to think you're crazy. And a powerful magician understands that. Their goal is to actualize their will upon the world. And they realize that if they use the word magic, it can often cause problems. So they may very well choose not to. For example, the great Hyperion Hegel was an extremely powerful magus whose ideas have shaped the world and will continue to do so. But how seriously would people have taken him if he constantly claimed to be a magician? So it's crucial to be careful when using the word. Now, I've barely scratched the surface. There is so much more that I could talk about regarding magic. So let me know in the comments, is this something that you're interested in hearing more about? Do you want me to do more videos about this? Are you interested in the rational interpretation of magic? Or do you want to hear about something else? Let me know. Tell me in the comments and make sure that you like and subscribe. If you enjoy my work, support me on Patreon so I can continue to create. Now I'd like to give a big shout out to all my supporters. Let's create a new world. My name is Morg and I am Hyperion. Ad Astra, to the stars.